Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. What you're seeing right now is a time lapse of my survival endless setup that I did for Plants vs Zombies Replanted. It's a setup that you pretty much expect now these days when you're playing survival endless, like bloom shrooms at the front of the water, cattail in the middle, winter melons at the back, bloom shrooms in the back, bloom shrooms everywhere basically, 4 cop cannons, like pretty much like everything you expect to see in survival endless. This original recording was, believe it or not, an hour long because this is mainly not a video of me like trying to make it as far as I can. It's actually more of an achievement guide for getting 40 flags and surviving 20 waves of pure zombie ferocity. The achievements are called Immortal, and I believe the 40 flags one is Alive and Planted or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But I did actually manage to get to 40 flags using this setup. As you can see, this setup is 12 winter melons, 12 bloom shrooms, and 4 cop cannons that you'll see, 2 umbrella leaves, 4 twin sunflowers, and whatever goes at the front. You'll notice that I actually plant extra sunflowers, but that was because each of the cop cannons is 500 sun, or if you're not playing Survival Endless, but in Survival Endless, the upgraded plants increase, or get their price increased by 50 sun. For example, if you plant the cop cannon down, the next one will be 550. Next one after that will be 600. Next one after that will be 650. Next one will be 700, and so on. And if you're playing Survival Endless, I highly recommend that you place down a bunch of sunflowers and a bunch of twin sunflowers or imitated sunflowers, because this will help you build your setup if it costs a lot of sun, that is. Unless you're like a big, like specific plant fan, like melon pole, for example, which stays 300. It's still expensive, but it doesn't get increased. Or like repeater, or gallon pea, or whatever. Gallon pea does get increased because it's an upgrade plant that you get from Crazy Dave's shop. But repeaters stay the same as well as torchwood if you're doing that kind of stuff. You'll notice that in the front, I planted a bunch of spike rocks. That was because in this, if you're playing Survival Endless, you'll know that a lot of gargantuars, catapult, and zambonis show up. As you can see right there, this is zamboni. They show up a lot in Survival Endless, especially when you get to the later stages, like 40 flags or whatever, or like 30 flags. You'll see a whole bunch. And it's really recommended that you make like a strong setup like I did right here. I did fail at wave 40, well, that was because I intentionally failed. You'll see later on in the video where I dig up a whole bunch of plants. That was because I just didn't really think it was necessary to keep carrying on in Survival Endless and just see how far I can get. It was mainly just like to get the achievement, you know, because getting to 40 flags is pretty tough if you're not using a proper setup. But with this setup, you can actually get to 40 flags if you're like paying attention, of course, by knowing what zombies there are. Which, by the way, there's like hundreds of zombies. Like, I think there's more than 100 actually. There's like 1,000 that show up in Survival Endless. Survival Endless never ends. That's why it has endless in its name. It never ever ends. It keeps going forever and ever. Until you die. You'll also see later on in the video that I get a whole bunch of diamonds. That's because the Yeti zombie shows up a couple times. Once you'll see soon, and one when it's near the end when I die. Not near the end, but it's somewhere around there. You'll also see a bunch of gargantuars. That's like the one zombie you see probably the most, outside of like the normal ones, like brown coat, cone head, bucket head. Yeah, I literally sat here for like an hour recording this. I know it might be a little bit complicated or hard to follow along because the video is 8 times speed. When it's not normal speed, it's 1 hour long, and this video would be taking a long time to process, and I'm not sure if people are really interested in seeing just a video of me playing Survival Endless, because it's basically the same thing over and over again. So with a time lapse and making it much shorter, I feel like it could be a little bit better, because I think shorter videos like this where they're sped up instead of just watching the whole thing, it saves you way more time than just watch an hour long, because an hour is a pretty long time. I know there's somebody out there that would do that, or some people out there that would do that. Just make you sit for an hour and just wait for 40 flags. Unless you do like a video series or whatever, like 10 minutes or whatever. So right now we are at wave 34. Just 6 more flags and we'll be good to go. Get the achievement, of course. Wait, gain our brand. So this has been Survival Endless. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yes, you may notice that the game is sped up a couple times. That's because at this point I was almost out of time to record this, so that's why I sped it up a bunch. Keywords is like 2.5 times speed. That's why it's like that. Okay. Anyways, see you guys later. Bye-bye.